The choices that we make become our habits and gradually compose us as a person, a responsible or an irresponsible person. Wearing an insensitive attitude is by choice, and responsible citizens opt to respect the law. Always looking for one's convenience, even if it causes inconvenience to others, exhibits disrespect for others. Diminutive choices thrust bigger choices and becomes the harbinger of respected being. As to how atoms are to molecules of matter composition. Electrons, protons, and neutrons constituting an atom are analogies of the application of choices. Such an impulsion would cause to wear a good attitude. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. As citizens of India, we know the quota. Obviously, the change wished by the sociable will not be usurping in nature and rather will be influential in nature. The exuberance brought in by the choice to be the change that one wants to see around will inspire others. Concisely, stop complaining and opt to be a doer of things to change for the better. A shallow revision of our high school botany class. Let us flash fruit anatomy in our minds as a metaphor. The fruit anatomy can be viewed into three parts: epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp, collectively known as pericarp. Epicarp is also called exocarp and, as the name denotes, is the outermost layer and forms the peel of the fruit. Mesocarp is the middle layer, which is mostly fleshy and is the edible portion of the fruit. Endocarp, also known as the inside layer of the pericarp, is the innermost layer. This is a rough portion where the seed is found. A metaphorical comparison of fruit anatomy with human behavior is not a compounding exercise as it seems. The three parts of the fruit can be equated to traversing behavioral features of humans. The outer layer epicarp can be perceived as the affable nature of a person, which makes others feel welcome, which in reality may not be true. Let us not slip into pessimistic views complicated by the very thought of time unmasking people. Let us uphold an optimistic approach and believe that the affable nature of a person to be true for the sake of understanding this metaphor. The middle layer mesocarp is that surface to represent the interpersonal skills, accentuating mutual respect. This draws an elaborate indication of how a person treats people from different social classes, which perhaps would not be visible with a few interactions and gets more visible as the acquaintance grows. The feeding of perspective is more appropriate with the edible portion in a person not seen biologically, otherwise disgracing it to different levels of virtual cannibalism like favors, rather staying afloat on the feeding off perspective and seeing what a person has to offer as a takeaway during interactions. Maybe an inspiration, an infectiously good idea, positive attitude, and more. Getting to know the innermost plane of a person is not attempted mostly. Obviously, because it is unneeded until needed by the subjected person's psychological condition. Some attempts on the subjective person having no adverse psychological condition would be pointless, as an interviewer or counselor or any seeker gets to see and hear information what the subjective person lets the seeker know. Reasons for knowing the kernel of a person would be many. Endocarp, the innermost rough portion seating the seed, can indicate the deep, harbored perspectives. Revelations of a person's kernel would divulge either startling facts or pleasant surprises. Fruits have undeniably evolved, no matter what our beliefs are about natural creation and a natural or orchestrated evolution. Akin to fruits that evolved constructively with their basic anatomy, we humans have evolved anatomically and psychologically in response to the natural environment and manipulated the ambience around us. Evolutionary choices made for mere survival and improvement have altered the genealogy. It will be altered further in accordance with our simple choices in our daily lives.